let's talk about my next thing, Mr. Jenkins. Has been a tough year for me in appraisals.
Mm.
What kind of luck have you had with appraisals this year?
So, for the most part, pretty good. But it's at times, we've been bummed out where the appraisal comes in low, and it's tough because you have access to some pretty neat tools where you can see homes that have sold.
Mm-hmm.
I have access to pretty much the same things everyone else does. I don't have special software that tells me what the home value is. It's not my place to tell anybody what the home's worth or what it should be. I can tell you what it needs to appraise at, but I can't tell you what it
and
should.
I can give you a market analysis to tell you where the home should sell at.
Right. But at the end of the day, we're all at the mercy of the appraiser. They carry the keys in mortgage transactions. So if they don't think the home's worth what we're buying it for, then we got to go back to the drawing table and figure out how we're going to make this deal work.
So if it's a little low, it's not always an issue. If it's a lot low, it can be a very big issue for one, the seller, and two, the buyer. So it's not good for anybody.
Right. I mean, seller has an idea, this is what they think their home's worth. Appraiser comes in and tells them otherwise. It's, well, then either I'm not selling or find a different appraiser because I think my home's worth this.
Right.
And everybody's kind of partial to their own home. You put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into your home over the years, so you want it to be worth what you expect.
You want to get something in return.
Yeah, hey, the Joneses down the street sold for this. I think my home's better than that. So
sometimes it is, but sometimes it isn't.
Right. And that's the tough thing is the appraiser is licensed to do that part of the process. So as much as you or I can look at Zillow or whatever website and think that, hey, we should get this value, it's the appraiser at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, we'll still get blamed for that too, but in the end, it's out of our control. And I will say this year, I've had a tough year with appraisals being low, being repaired, but we were able to negotiate and get a lot of things done for people in the long run. So, I mean, I'm happy about that. I just, sometimes it's a real touchy subject with us agents and loan officers too, because they're holding up everybody.
Yeah.
Whether our deal funds or not, that appraiser's getting his money.
Yeah, they get paid to go out and do the work. And another thing that can come up aside from value is the condition of the home. So not every agent knows every single nuance about the home and about the code and about these electrical outlets and the age of the roof and how this furnace works. And there's a lot of things that can kind of go sideways with an appraisal report too. So in addition to a low value, they might give you the value, but they say, hey, this report's subject to A, B, C, and D. And that's where you have to go back and you might have to negotiate with the seller.
Who does what repair?
Exactly.
Are those repairs escrowable?
At times.
Okay.
It depends on the type of loan. And by escrowable, that just means we can take that money and kind of set it aside. And once the deal closes, use that money to have the work done.
Are most of those driven towards weather? Like we're in a freezing climate?
Exactly.
If it's something that's exterior, we won't be able to fix it in the wintertime, but they would escrow that money for the repair to be done when the weather is allowable.
Yeah. A common thing for, say, an FHA appraisal, that's a government-backed loan, and they are a lot more, we'll say, uptight about certain things. Yeah.
That's much nicer than I would have put it.
So, an issue that comes up a lot is peeling paint. So if you have a home, was it before 1979 or 78, and there's peeling paint. So maybe on a windowsill or even on like the back of the garage, there's some peeling paint. The appraiser could say, well, hey, you need this painted. You need to scrape it and you need to put a new coat of paint on it. And to a lot of people, that's ridiculous. Like that seems silly, but there could be lead in that paint, and they're just. Government wants to make sure that
Disclaimer,
it's safe. Could be. So that's when lead paint was still legal to use, and after 1978, that's when they banned it, they outlawed it. So there could be under that layer of peeling paint, some lead, and you don't want your kid out there playing with it. You don't want to.
I don't want to play with it.
Right. So they might require you to go out there and paint it. So it's in your best interest. Sometimes we there could be some animosity towards the appraiser over little things, but. Again, it's designed to make sure that the home's safe, to make sure that you're moving into a home and you don't have to worry about safety issues.
And I'm not saying appraisals are bad, because they're protecting the bank who's giving them a good loan, but they're also protecting my buyer. Right. They're making sure that what they're buying is worth that amount of money. Correct. So if the appraisal comes back low and they don't want to negotiate, hey, you're not paying for more for a home than you should. So, I mean, as much as I complain about appraisers, and he'll tell you I complain about them quite often, they still protect my buyers,
Yes.
my clients. So, I mean, in a nutshell, they're part of the industry and they should do what they're doing, but sometimes it doesn't always work out for everybody involved.
Yeah, you want your client to get the home, you want everybody to get to the closing table and you know, go their separate ways, but sometimes the appraiser doesn't let us. So, but again,
And we won't talk about underwriters.
that's for another day. All right.
But on appraisals, good or bad, you seem to have some good luck with them this year. For
For
the
the
most part,
Yeah, I mean, the market lately's been trending upwards, so values are moving up, which is always good for the market. Because back in, you know, after 2008, it was tough because values year over year were declining. I mean, you had no idea what you were going to get.
right.
There were homes going for pennies on the dollar, and it was a tough go. And some neighborhoods got hit harder than others.
Right.
You know, there are some pockets.
There are still some pocketed
did-
areas that are still down.
Yeah, they just haven't recovered, and there's other areas that have just been well above average. So, again, we're at their mercy, but that's why they have the license to do what they do, to go out there and make sure, you know, one, the investment, you know, you're making, you're buying this thing is worth what you're paying for, based on what's selling around it, and then, you know, two, make sure it's livable and that you're getting something that's safe for you and your family.
Outstanding.